Hey, what's going on, Vikings fans? It is Skullside back again with another video. And in this video, we are going to be going over every major Minnesota Vikings off-season free agency move. I'm going to be giving a letter grade A through F. I'm just going to be giving a couple of my thoughts on what I think of each move. And at the end, I'm going to be going over how I think the Minnesota Vikings off-season and free agency has gone so far as a whole. Alright, so let's get in with the first move the Minnesota Vikings made. And really the first move they made was franchising safety Anthony Harris. The franchise tag is around $11.4 million. However, the franchise tag is still a tag and trade. So Anthony Harris could be on the move for some picks or for another player in the future. But overall, I like this move. You're giving a guy like Anthony Harris, who was undrafted, a decent salary for the year, especially for a safety, and maybe we can extend him moving on next year, but just giving him one more year because last year was really the only year he really popped out, and hopefully he can give us another year like that next year, and then we would extend him in the future. But I like this move as of now. If they trade him for nothing, then it won't be a good move, but as right now, if it sticks like this, I'm going to give this move around a B+. The next real set of moves I'm going to be talking about for the Vikings is re-signing guys like Dan Bailey, backup quarterback Sean Mannion, and punter Britton Colquitt. Overall, I feel like these were necessary moves, and they just took advantage of what the market was giving us, and we just re-signed guys that were necessary to the team. Overall, I'm going to just give these moves an A. I feel like these are just moves that we needed to get done. We have no punter drama, no kicker drama, hopefully, and we still have our backup quarterback who has been here for a while. Next, moving on, we'll be talking about the main free agent we signed in Michael Pierce. Personally, I love this move. I feel like this move is not getting enough credit, and I think Michael Pierce is a really good defensive tackle. And I feel like this gives the Vikings to make a movement maybe to a 3-4 defense, especially after losing Everson Griffin, putting Michael Pierce in the middle, Daniil, and Ifedi, and just having a rotation such as that. I really like this move. 3-year, $27 million. Yes, a dude who is a little older. However, he still is in his prime, and he's a beast. He seems like a really good guy. I really like this move. Yes, it took up a lot of cap space for this move for the upcoming year, but I really like this move, and I feel like this would be a piece that we're talking about in season. We're like, damn, we are really lucky to have this guy on our team. Overall, I'm gonna give this move an A-. $4.4 million in dead money. I frankly don't get that. We're only getting $1.5 million more in cap savings, but it creates $4.4 million in dead money in 2020 that could be going somewhere else. I didn't really understand the move. I'm going to give this individual move a D+. The next main player we released was cornerback Xavier Rhodes. This one hurt because Xavier was one of my favorite players up until last year when he was frankly awful. But it just hurt seeing one of our players that we have seen in the Zimmer era really blossom and become an all-pro, and just a player who would just be a player we could root for, and he had the whole thing, Rhodes clothes, and I frankly liked him a lot. This past year, though, he was terrible, and even the year before that, we saw a decline out of him. We needed to cut him. I feel like there's no real, I feel like we all saw this coming. I feel like if they didn't cut him, then it would be a terrible move. However, it frees up $8.1 million in cap space, does create $5 million in dead money. However, this was a move that we just needed to make. I'm going to give this move an overall B+. The next move we made was releasing Vikings defensive tackle Linval Joseph. Linval hungry. He was one of my favorite Vikings, frankly, all time. And this one hurt to see go, but we did save a little more than $10.4 million in cap space. This sucks, but I mean, it's just a move that needed to be done, I feel like, and I wish we could have kept him for less. But signing Michael Pierce to replace Linval makes the move look actually pretty smart, because we're saving money, and we're saving around $2 million from Linval's contract to Michael Pierce's contract. So overall, I thought the move was a B. The reason it's not higher is because we're losing Linval Joseph, one of our favorites. However, it's not the worst because it was the smart move to make. All right, now we're going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings players that were extended this offseason. Starting off with fullback C.J. Ham. He got a deal of 3 years, $12.125 million. Love this move. I'm a huge C.J. Ham guy. I'm a huge fullback guy. I just love his energy. I love what he brings to the table. He's huge in the run game. He's actually big in a couple play action plays this past year. Love CJ Ham. He's a beast. He deserves every penny of this contract. I'm going to give this an A+, actually. It's just something we needed to do, and a guy who really deserved it, and a playmaker at a fullback position that is actually very valuable now today in the NFL. Now, the next player we extended was main man Kirk Cousins. This move was very significant for many reasons. It freed up cap space for this next year, but it also showed the team who our guy is. And we're building around a guy who's a good guy. He works hard. He has the right team-first personality. And I'm all in for it. I used to have my doubts about Kirk, but at the end of the day, the grass isn't always greener. This was the safe choice. We could go and we could have said, Kirk, we're not taking you back unless you're taking it $10 million a year, and we'll be back searching for another quarterback. We have our guy. He's a top 10 quarterback in the league. Yes, he's not a top 5 quarterback in the league, but he is a good quarterback in the NFL, and I'm ready to ride with him for the next 2 years. I'm going to give this move a B+. Now, the main move of the offseason, the only player we traded, the man who had the Minneapolis Miracle, our wide receiver from the 5th round out of Maryland, Stefon Diggs. He was traded to the Bills for a first-round pick, a 5th, a 6th, and a 2021 4th. I love this trade. I absolutely love it. Now, you might be saying, we're losing Stefon Diggs. How could you love this trade? I'm sorry, but Stefon Diggs, as of late, has been a total diva. And divas do not win in this football league. And he will not win if he keeps these antics up. You look around the league, OBJ, Antonio Brown, he's starting to fall in the same category as he's getting cryptic on Twitter. He's just not the same Diggs who we fell in love with. And frankly, after the Miracle, he's been a totally different person. At first, he was this gritty, small receiver, fast. He was so much fun to root for. It was like, can you dig it? Like, all this thing. It was just, Diggs was our guy. And after the Miracle, he was our guy. And we loved that. And frankly, after that, I mean, if he doesn't want to be here, get him out. You're not going to win a Super Bowl unless every single player in the locker room wants to be there. And we got a first-round pick for him. So it's not that we moved out a guy who didn't want to be there, but we also got a first-round pick and later-round picks, which could be valuable in other trades. I like this trade. I'm not going to give it an A because, yes, we are losing Stefon Diggs. But also not going to give it a C because we got a lot in return, and this is the right football move to win championships. It's risky, but if we want to win championships, this is the right move. I'm going to give this move a B+. All right, coming up next, other major moves throughout the offseason was Zendejo leaving, Mac Alexander leaving, Curse leaving, Linval leaving, and Trey Waynes leaving. All these guys signed with other teams, and I can't really give the Vikings a grade on this because they just weren't able to re-sign these guys. I didn't understand why we had to let Mac go, especially he only left for $4 million. That's why I assume the Vikings are planning on drafting heavy corners in the draft this upcoming year, maybe taking 2 in the first. You never know. We'll see. You can't really give them a grade for this, but I just feel like I wish we would have kept a couple more of these guys. Now, another guy we lost was Everson Griffin. This one hurt because Ev has been the heart and soul of this defense under the Zimmer era, and especially last year, he really took a step forward from having a down year in 2018. And last year, even in the Saints playoff game, he was huge. He was still producing. Yes, he's getting up there in age, but this one hurt to let him just see go, and I don't see why the Vikings couldn't have thrown money at him. Yes, I get it's a business, and we are saving the money for other moves, but since we haven't really seen any other moves besides a Michael Pierce signing, I'm going to give this move a C- because we're losing our heart and soul, and now there's has to be other leaders step up and step through for the new upcoming season. The last move that really happened today was Daniil restructuring his contract. I'm happy for Daniil. He's going to get a decent amount more money, and he's also going to save us some money this upcoming year. So now we have around $14 million left for this upcoming year, and that we could use to sign maybe a Robbie Anderson, another deep threat. Maybe they'll bring a player in via trade. But yeah, this was a move. Just made sense. Good for Daniil. Good for the Vikings. I'm going to give this move an A. Now, overall, looking back right now at the Minnesota Vikings offseason, it has not been a perfect offseason. We're losing a ton of guys that we've seen wear the gold and purple for a while, but we're also taking a step forward into a new chapter, and which is something we needed to do because we've kind of been hitting the same roadblock where we can't burst through that Super Bowl window. Yes, these moves suck. It's going to be weird seeing a bunch of new guys, but it's also very exciting. We have a ton of picks. We still have a decent amount of cap space. Bring new players in, see how we mesh, and it's going to be a whole new team next year, which I'm excited for. Overall, I'm going to give this offseason a B so far, mainly because we still have a lot of moves to make through the draft and through free agency still. As of now, we have set us up where we can turn that B into an A, or we could turn that B into a C if we don't make the right moves. But we have set ourselves up to have a very successful offseason and translate that into the season if we want to. But that requires signing the right free agents for the right price and drafting the right players and making the necessary moves we need to, whether that's trading up for a player we really like or even trading back for players that we think we can get later. And frankly, it just comes down to drafting the right guys that are going to fit the scheme and fit our identity, which we found last year. That is why I'm very excited. This offense has its identity. We're going to run the ball, we're going to hit you in play action, and we're just power run football team with our 2 running backs in the backfield. I'm very excited for this offseason, and I'm very excited for this upcoming season. I'm still excited for this offseason because we still have moves to make. Overall, so far, I'm going to give the Minnesota Vikings offseason a B. Thank you all for listening and hearing my opinions. Let me know what you think of the Minnesota Vikings offseason down below. I would love to hear what you think. Let me know if I'm being biased. Let me know if I'm underappreciating certain moves. Love to hear your guys' opinion. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.